Hi, greetings, peace and blessings to you. So, if you clicked on this video, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Minister Kismet, and this is my channel. And the channel is all about transcending the everyday life by tuning into the divine wisdom that lives within all of us. Okay, it's about empowerment, and I do offer what I call intuitive readings. And the reading series I'm currently doing, and Is This Message Is For You, is from the African Goddess Rising Oracle deck. Okay? So I've been doing readings from this deck. This is a collective read, and it's just for whoever clicks on this video. Is this message for you? So we're doing 2 cards from this Oracle deck, and we're going to first read from Intuition, and then we're going to read from the book, because this is a new deck, and I'm interested in how Miss Abiola Abrams interprets these oracle cards that she created with all these wonderful indigenous goddesses. So the 2 cards, before I begin, also, just to let you know, I am an empath, I am claircognizant, I am clairvoyant, and clairaudient. I am a medium. I am an occult nerd, an astrology nerd. I'm an Aries sun, Leo moon, and a Pisces rising, and Taurus Venus, Mars, and Aquarius. And I love to change it up, switch up my style. I'm also a Halloween nerd, and looking forward to doing a thrift haul for Halloween for 2022. Do a video for that, because we are technically in Queen. It's halfway to Halloween, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, I'm a Halloween nerd, and just all kinds of things. I'm also a minister. I'm a Reiki healer and a sound therapy healer, and I'm getting ready to finish my certification in past life hypnosis training, or NLP, which is fascinating to me. So we're here in my living room, very informal. This is a collective reading, and let's dig in. Is this message for you? So let's see the cards that we have from the deck. This is the artwork for the outside. Okay, so we have the card Betrayal. Card number 20, Aunt Nancy is the goddess, Aunt Nancy. And I guess it's kind of a play on the word for Anansi, which is an African god of the spider god, betrayal. Okay, and the second one is Scarcity. This is pronounced Sukuyant. Okay, Sukuyant. Look at the artwork on that. Scarcity. Now, I'm looking at the images on here. Card number 21. So, if you tuned into this sign, you may possibly be an air sign or a water sign, or have air and water on your chart prominently on your astrology chart. And if you haven't gotten your chart done, you definitely should pull up your chart. We're so blessed. When I was into astrology back in the 80s, you had to go to the library and dig out books, and it was like hard to find books. Now everything is right there on the internet. There's no reason for you not to dig into as much self-knowledge as you could possibly want as far as your astrological chart is concerned. But yeah, so you may have air and water on your chart. So Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, or Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I'm sorry. Air is Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. I need to drink some more water today. All right, so the number 2 and 3 could be prominent for you. Now, these 2 cards, just focusing, you may also be a Leo. You may also be a Leo or Scorpio, or have those placements prominent on your chart. I want to talk about betrayal. Okay, now, without reading the book, what I know about Anansi from a lot of the African fables of Anansi is that goddess or god is a trickster god. And betrayal a lot of times has to do with trickery, getting over. I think of the Seven of Swords, where you're getting over on somebody or somebody's getting over on you. You thought somebody was cool with you, and turns out that they don't like you, or they try to get you fired, or try to get you in trouble, stuff like that. Betrayal. I've experienced a lot of betrayal in my life because I've always been very pure-hearted. I always felt like if I like you, then you must like me too, And very naively, I have gotten stabbed in the back by people who, truthfully told, are pretty miserable people who just, are jealous and have low self-esteem themselves, don't know how to love, never been loved, just really all around miserable people. And when people are in a mindset like that, you really can't count on their loyalty or their trust. You really can't count on them to be someone who's going to be loyal and upstanding, because they don't even know how to be loyal and upstanding to themselves. They're not even trying to love themselves. And it took years of wisdom and betrayal to learn that lesson. And so now the lesson, sometimes when you learn that lesson, is learning not to betray your own self. And how do we betray ourselves? By self-sabotage. When we sabotage our own selves, let's say we set out on a new eating program, and then, we're doing good, and then we just get emotional and do something that's going to sabotage. You're supposed to do your meal prep, but it's like, instead of doing my meal prep, I'm going to sit down and binge this show, knowing damn well you could pause the show and still do your meal prep. I mean, that's just a mild example. But betrayal is painful. I'm not going to minimize the pain of when someone betrays you, when you thought that you could trust someone, you thought someone was going to be there for you, and they aren't there for you, or they, talk shit about you behind your back, or even went so far as to lie to you and cheat on you, and, or use you as a scapegoat and spread lies and rumors and gossip. I mean, there's so many kinds of hurtful betrayal in the world. And I have experienced a lot of it personally, so I can empathize if that is something you're experiencing right now. And what I can also tell you is that it is not the end of the world. It may be the end of one world, but it is not the end of the world. Life does go on. You can find meaning from that. You can heal. Those wounds can heal. It is hard to learn to trust again. And it is also a lesson about who to trust. I know for me, that's what I took from it. I took from it that you don't have to be trusting of people. You have to trust yourself, and you have to trust the universe, God. Because even, family members can betray you. But it's about trusting yourself and trusting God and trusting the universe. Not so much you have to trust everybody. You don't. Being trusting doesn't mean that you walk up to everybody and oh, here, you can come to my house and sleep over. You know what I mean? That's being incredibly irresponsible and naive. That's not the same as being trusting. Trusting is finding the opportunities to open up, based on the timing of the situation, based on when you need to open up. It's not an all the time thing. It's based on the circumstances, basically. And right now, if you have been betrayed, first let me say I'm sorry, but don't fall into a scarcity mindset, because then that's the next portion of the cards that came up for you is don't fall into scarcity. Scarcity is believing that, again, it's the end of the world. There's not another partner out there for you. There's not another friend out there. There's not another job out there for you. There's not another chance at life, basically. And that's not true. There's always more than enough. Always. There's always more than enough. It's not about being scarce, believing in scarcity or feeding into scarcity. There is always more than enough. You can empower yourself again. You can heal again. You can love again. And even past the trauma of betrayal and the hurt of betrayal, you can heal and love again. You can heal and find another job, a better job. A lot of times, like they say, when God closes one door, he opens up a better one. So there's really no loss there, you just have to give things time to work themselves out and, grow from the experience, learn from what it taught you about areas where you were too trusting and areas where you can love and protect yourself more. Because not giving everyone access to you and to your business and to, your life basically is a form of self-love, self-care, and self-respect. And that's where the divinity comes in, because this is our temple. Our body's our temple. Our mind is our temple. We have to protect our body and our minds the same as we lock our cars and lock our homes, protect our children, our grandchildren, our loved ones, because they're sacred to us. They mean a lot. So you need to mean a lot to you. That's the first lesson in all of this. So ashe to that, as far as betrayal and scarcity goes. So let me see what other message we have here with this. You go through your period of mourning, where you grieve the loss, you grieve the betrayal, you grieve, you have your mourning period, but know that you're going to come out of it and you're going to shine even brighter because of it. You're going to shine even brighter because of it, because that's what growth does. When you have the fall, you have the winter, and the things seem like they're dead and they're over, and then they resurrect in the spring even more beautiful. The flowers bloom even more beautiful after the rainfall. The rainbow comes out after the rain. So go ahead and experience the pain. Don't deny it, don't numb it, but acknowledge that you are going to grow from that. You can affirm, I choose to empower myself after this. I choose to learn the lessons, and I choose to be careful who I trust. And even being careful with you trust, it doesn't guarantee you won't be betrayed, but you do learn the lessons. You keep being more cautious going forward and pay attention to maybe red flags that you ignored in the beginning, that going forward, when you see those red flags again, okay, you know what? This person is doing something similar to what this last person, or the situation is happening similar to what happened to this last situation. Let me apply the lessons that I learned through my pain and through what happened to me, so that I don't have to undergo that again. You can avoid that pain again, and not get into a scarcity mindset, like you need to settle or be desperate, because never, ever, ever do you want to make decisions and do things out of desperation. Okay. Scarcity also involves developing a crutch. So one of the things I'm working on getting back into is fasting, picking 3 days to fast, to just drink water and tea and, maybe have a piece of fruit here and there, but really like fasting, because when we develop a crutch, for me, it could be emotional eating, or it could be alcohol, or it could be drugs. It could be anything that you feel like you need to lean on to be strong. Like you're not strong in and of yourself as yourself, is a crutch. And that's also a scarcity mindset, because you don't need a crutch. You are your crutch. You are your own security. You are your own treasure. You are your own best friend. You are what you need. Okay. God, the divine, the most powerful spirit lives within you. Okay. If you have not abandoned and forsaken yourself, you can embrace the divine within you. You don't need a crutch. You don't need a crutch. You can remind yourself, this is scarcity mindset. If I'm here tomorrow, I can eat tomorrow, or I can drink next week. I don't need this crutch to get through this pain. I can experience the pain and learn from it and feel it and experience the emotions and still move forward and know that this is not the end of the world. Okay. Now we're going to get into the book. We're going to dig into what Abiola Abrams, what her advice is for these two cards. Okay. So for scarcity and for betrayal, let's see what these goddesses represent. And this goddess here, Sukuyant, Again, that's a new goddess for me. I've never heard of this goddess. I have heard of Anansi, and she calls it Aunt Nancy here to turn Anansi into a feminine goddess. But I know Anansi is the African goddess, and Anansi has to do with, trickery and just kind of trickster energy. The equivalent would be similar to like a Loki, similar to like a Loki, not the same, but similar. So let's go into the book and let's see. Okay, so we're gonna see what Aunt Nancy. Now, the shadow of betrayal. Okay, this is a shadow card. So this is working with shadow energy. And again, when we experience betrayal, again, a lot of it always starts with you because we're betraying ourselves in some way. Like if you see a red flag and you don't pay attention to it and you ignore it, knowing that you should have trusted your intuition, that's a self-betrayal. You betrayed yourself first, okay? So it says that she is from the Akan diaspora. The temple is the shadows. Her element is air, okay? Ashe, like I said. Anansi, or Kwaku Ananse, the Akan trickster god and sacred clown, snuck into our global folk tales while Gullah Geechee children heard tales of Aunt Nancy, the tricky spider woman. My Guyanese parents entertained us with Nancy stories about a witty teen spider. Okay? So who really betrayed you? Betrayals from others mirrors you betraying yourself. So see, I received the same message just from the card, and that Abiola Abrams was saying for this card and for you if you tuned in. Okay, now the embodiment that she says here, her advice coupled with my advice is that betrayal is a web that disrupts everything you thought you knew. Use discernment in your relationships. Betrayal makes it difficult to trust, but without trust, your relationships are a lie. Trust that no matter what happens and no matter how long it takes, you will survive and thrive. Okay? Ashe. The real question is, how have you betrayed or abandoned yourself? The goddess declaration is, I am willing to know the truth because the truth shall set you free. Okay? Let's be a little cliche here, but it's true. The truth will set you free. Then you're not in a web of lies. Betrayal is a web. It's a web of lies, but the truth will set you free. The truth will release you from that web. So that's the thing about betrayal. Once the truth is out, there's no more betrayal because the truth is out. So that's a good thing about it too, because then it's like, okay, well, now I know the truth and I can move forward. I'm not in a web of lies anymore. I know the truth. I can move forward on truth because it's empowering. I'm not caught up in a web that I don't know what's going on and somebody's spinning a cocoon around me, getting ready to try to devour me. No, empower yourself, break free. Ashe. So let's see what she says for Sukuyant. Now this is a new goddess I'm not familiar with. Now this is also from the shadow. This is from our shadow. The shadow is scarcity. When we understand, when we feel like there is a lack, there's never enough. We're always struggling. We're always, it's just never enough. We don't feel abundant. We feel like there's never going to be another partner. We just want to give up. There's never going to be new love. No one's ever going to love me. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. That's scarcity. Okay? Addictions is scarcity. Now, the temple from Sukuyant is from Trinidad. Okay, so this is a Trinidad goddess. Okay? And it says her element also is air. Now, it says beauty by day and hag by night. The Sukuyant is an energy vampire, also known throughout the diaspora as Old Higu and Buhag. So whether it's energy or blood, for vampires, there's never enough to go around. Okay. You see? So scarcity, she's saying here that scarcity is tied in with greed. Scarcity is tied in with greed. It's tied in with never having enough. That is also a form of scarcity. Because learning to be content in all seasons and with all things is a form of abundance. Gratitude is a form of abundance. When you're grateful in every sense and in all seasons. So the shadow guidance is you have so much more than you realize, she's telling you. You have access to unlimited joy, love, good times, pleasures, and prosperity. Be grateful for your riches. The embodiment for her advice to you is Stop going to the ocean and asking for a thimble full of water. Okay, it doesn't feel like it when you're desperate, but scarcity and lack are an illusion. Prosperity is believing that there is an overflow, and there is. Okay? More than enough love, happiness, well-being, and money to go around. Vampires take from others because they don't have enough life force for themselves. Okay? That is a scarcity consciousness. When you embody lack, you are always hungry, tired, and jealous. Ashe. Okay? So we're going back to the type of people also who will betray you. Those energy vampires, people who are just never satisfied. There's never enough. They're always comparing themselves to you. They're always in a secret competition with you. They're always secretly jealous. They don't feel good enough within themselves. They don't know that it's possible to be two flowers and multiple flowers blooming in a beautiful, vibrant, gigantic garden of life. That it's just the scarcity mindset, that there's always lack, there's always competition, there's always never enough. Okay? That kind of a person will betray you. And if you are that kind of person, then you will betray yourself. Okay? You will betray yourself. So that is, I'm sorry, my camera light is going in and out. So I'm just going to, for the rest of the read, I'm going to have to hold the phone. But anyway, so yeah, so that's the declaration for this. So what she's saying is, she says, make a gratitude list. What are you grateful for right now? Okay, and that's great advice for the scarcity mindset, because when you count your blessings, when you get into a gratitude mindset, you begin to see the lack thinking in your mind, and you begin to realize that there is more than enough. And you think of all the situations in your life that even with the smallest amount, you survived it, you came through. Okay, so the declaration for that is, my blessings always overflow. My blessings always overflow. And that's the goddess declaration for Sukuyant. Okay, so those goddesses, yes, some of the lessons may be painful, right? But they are very powerful lessons. They're very powerful lessons for you to learn and grow from. And in that sense, because of the growth that you get from that, you are transformed by it. You get wisdom, you get discernment. So there's really there's no loss to it if you don't allow there to be a loss to it, if you empower yourself from the lessons of it. Okay, so that is the message. Was that message for you? Was that message helpful? And I hope so. If you like the channel, if you like the messages, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell notification so that you can get notified every time I post. I look forward to hearing from you. Comment below if this was helpful to you. Also, if you're interested in any Reiki healing, Reiki is also very helpful when you're dealing with all kinds of healing situations, just to kind of get into your own self, your own soul, and get into alignment. It will begin to bring to mind, bring to your third eye, your awareness, the lessons that you needed to learn from that situation, so that you can grow and transform and keep becoming the wonderful version of person that you are destined to be. Okay, Ashe. So you can hit me up. I'm on Instagram at Kismet Destiny Hope, and also at ULHC_oneness. That represents Universal Life and Hope Center. This is a hope center that is a dream of mine that I'm working to build as well. And you can check out our website. Feel free to make a donation. It is www.universallifeandhopecenter.com. You can feel free to go onto our GoFundMe page, make a donation. You can also hit me up on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. Comment below if this message is helpful to you. This is a timeless reading. Whenever you click on it, the message is meant for you. Ashe.